What scares you the most?
Is it the idea that something we thought was innocent turned out to be something far more sinister?
Is it the idea that something evil and unfathomable is slowly creeping into our waking world and taking over our loved ones and friends?
Is it the idea that one false move, one single sound, could be the end of you?
Or is it simply you're scared of something lurking in the dark, looking for you? Yes, horror fans, Halloween is here, and there are a plethora of new horror games that are coming out this October season that look oh so devilishly good. So take a few moments with me as we look at the must-play horror games coming out in October 2024. Let's start this spectacular collective of games with Zoochosis. Zoochosis is an upcoming horror simulation game developed by Clapperheads and published in collaboration with Playworks. Set to release on September 30th, 2024. For PC via Steam, Zoochosis offers a unique blend of zoo management and psychological horror that promises to deliver a chilling and immersive experience. The game puts players in the role of a night zookeeper, starting their first shift at a seemingly ordinary zoo. However, as the night progresses, it becomes clear that something sinister is afoot. A mysterious and terrifying parasite is spreading among the animals, causing grotesque mutations and turning them into bloodthirsty, aggressive versions of themselves. As the newly hired zookeeper, players must navigate this nightmarish scenario, attempting to save the animals while uncovering the dark secrets lurking within the zoo. The body cam footage mechanic not only serves as a storytelling device, but also as a crucial gameplay element, allowing players to review and analyze their experiences to uncover clues and progress through the game. The gameplay in Zoochosis is a careful balance between traditional zoo management tasks and survival horror elements. Players must perform regular zookeeper duties such as feeding the various animals, cleaning enclosures, and maintaining the facilities. However, these routine tasks are constantly interrupted by the need to identify infected animals, create vaccines, and administer cures before the parasitic infection spreads out of control and takes over the zoo population. The game's horror elements are not just limited to jump scares or gore. Instead, Zoochosis focuses on creating a pervasive atmosphere of dread and unease, never knowing if sweet baby Caroline the capybara will all of a sudden turn around and be a Lovecraftian nightmare creature ready to gobble you up, turning the zoo into a psychological minefield of potential threats. A key aspect of Zoochosis is the emphasis on player choice and consequences. Decisions made throughout the game, such as which animals to prioritize for treatment or how to allocate limited resources, will have a significant impact on the story's progression and ultimate outcome. Maybe Pingu the penguin has been a little shit the entire game and been pecking at your feet, so you instead prioritize Harambe the gorilla to get the vaccine, leading to an all-out war within the penguin enclosure. This adds a layer of replayability to the game as players can explore different strategies and choices to uncover various endings and piece together the full narrative, hopefully allowing us to fully complete the game with zero animal transformations and allow all of our furry friends to see the light of the next day. The visual design of the abominations in Zoochosis is another standout feature. The game aims to create a realistic and detailed zoo environment that gradually descends into a nightmarish landscape as the infection spreads. The mutated animals showcased so far include giraffes, penguins, kangaroos, zebras, and many more yet to be revealed. Audio plays a crucial role in building the tense atmosphere of Zoochosis, as you'll hear the infected cries of nearby animals, wondering which ones are sick and which ones are just needing a bit of love and attention. This will create an ever-changing auditory landscape that keeps players on their edge throughout the entire experience. Moreover, the game's focus on animal welfare, albeit in a horrific context, adds an emotional depth to the experience. They're not just fighting for their own survival, they're tasked with saving these innocent creatures, creating a more engaging narrative than your typical survival horror game. The game in particular, I think, has one of the coolest premises I've seen in a recent horror game, and as a big fan of the 1982 version of The Thing, I think the idea of a mutated nightmare hiding among these sweet, cute animals, never really knowing which one might succumb to the infection next, is by far worth the asking price. Right now, the game can be wishlisted on Steam, and like all the other games in the video that will be detailed, you can click on the links below that will send you to their pages. Zoochosis will be releasing on Monday, September 30th, 2024. Next, let us visit the misty town that is Silent Hill in Silent Hill 2 Remake.
Mary, could you really be in this town?
Silent Hill 2 Remake is the highly anticipated reimagining of the classic psychological horror game originally released by Team Silent in 2001. Developed by Bloober Team, known for their work on psychological horror games like Layers of Fear and The Medium, this remake aims to bring the beloved story and atmosphere of Silent Hill 2 to a new generation of players while satisfying longtime fans of the series. For those who don't know Silent Hill 2, the game follows James Sunderland, who receives a letter from his deceased wife Mary, asking him to meet her in their special place in Silent Hill. Driven by confusion and hope, James travels to the fog-shrouded town where he encounters bizarre creatures and other troubled individuals, each grappling with their own psychological demons. One of the most significant changes in the remake is the visual overhaul. Utilizing new engines, the game promises to deliver a more immersive and atmospheric Silent Hill. Early trailers and screenshots showcase greatly improved character models, some which the community have rallied behind and championed the new look, while others have been fairly critical, to say the least. Bloober Team especially have really worked on making the town of Silent Hill feel more real than ever before, with more detailed environments and enhanced lighting effects bring that eerie town to life. The fog, a crucial element of Silent Hill's atmosphere, has been recreated with advanced volumetric techniques, adding depth and mystery to the game's environments, unlike a certain original remaster that came out a few years ago. Additionally, they have committed even more to Silent Hills 2 original inspiration, Jacob's Ladder, and now have added the blur, fast-moving effect to the nurse enemies of the game, making them seem even more unnatural and unearthly as they move like never before. The remake also features updated gameplay mechanics while staying true to the original's focus on psychological horror and puzzle solving. The controls and combat system have been modernized to feel more responsive and intuitive for contemporary players. Obviously, some players have taken issue with this, as the clunky combat is what made the original even more terrifying, as when you went up against even the basic enemies, it could turn south very quickly and you'd be quickly taking a dirt nap at the Lakeview Hotel. Gameplay updates includes an over-the-shoulder camera perspective, similar to the recent Resident Evil remakes, which aims to increase immersion and tension during exploration and encounters with the town's monstrous denizens. Audio has also received significant attention in the remake. The iconic soundtrack by Akira Yamaoka has been remastered and expanded with new arrangements that build upon the original's haunting melodies, with involvement from the OG himself. Sound design is one of the most crucial parts of Silent Hill's appeal, as you hear the iconic radio static signaling enemies nearby, Pyramid Head's large swords scrape across the ground, or the unnatural clicking and creaking that comes from the nurses. It all adds to that atmosphere of this place not being of this world and truly the place of nightmares. All of this has been completely overhauled and will hopefully add to the game scares and provide us with that unnerving feeling that the noises coming from the next room may be the last we ever hear. One of the biggest contentions of the remake, however, is how well it will handle the game's narrative and themes. Silent Hill 2 is renowned for its complex psychological storytelling and mature themes dealing with guilt, grief, and the human psyche. Meanwhile, Bloober Team haven't been known for their subtlety in their previous horror games, with a constant complaint put against the studio being that they rely too heavily on cheap jump scares to get their players scared. This has led to a select few fans to be combative with the development team before the game has come out. This, along with a gameplay trailer that was released by Konami that showed a wonky, unfinished version of the game's combat, led a lot of people to believe that the remake was made by the wrong studio and should be worked on by someone else. However, Bloober Team, undeterred, have been responding to fans' requests and seem to have as much love and admiration for this monumental title as we do. Showcasing that love in the story trailer was showcasing the game's wonderfully melancholy tone and truly brought the haunting story into 2024. They have stated their commitment to preserving the core story and the themes of the original while potentially expanding on certain elements or offering new perspectives. And I believe that they will deliver a fantastic remake that allows so many new people to join on to such a beloved horror series that is Silent Hill, balancing the old and the new to appeal at least mostly to the Silent Hill fanbase. This in turn will hopefully open up the possibility of other Silent Hill remakes like the original, 3, and The Room, and more commitment to other promising future Silent Hill titles like Silent Hill F and Townfall, if the latter is still coming out due to the shuttering of Annapurna Interactive's dev studio. In conclusion, Silent Hill 2 Remake is shaping up to be a significant release for the horror gaming landscape and hopefully will hit the heights of other recent remakes like Resident Evil 4 and Dead Rising Deluxe. I'm excited and will be checking the game out on October 8th, 2024, when me and countless others will return to the town of Silent Hill. Next up, we'll have to whisper for this game as we enter the eerie world of A Quiet Place, The Road Ahead. A Quiet Place: The Road Ahead is an upcoming single-player survival horror game set to release on October 17, 2024, for Microsoft Windows, PlayStation 5, and Xbox Series X and S. Developed by Stormmind Games, the creatives behind the remake of the series, and published by Saber Interactive, known for recent hits like Space Marine 2, Teardown, and World War Z, this game is based on the popular A Quiet Place film franchise, offering fans a new and immersive way to experience the tension-filled world of the movies. Set in a post-apocalyptic world overrun by blind, auditory, hypersensitive alien creatures, A Quiet Place: The Road Ahead puts players in the shoes of Alex Taylor, a young asthmatic college student voiced by Inês Quiñones, who has mostly worked in anime, funnily enough voicing Rika in the JJK Zero movie and Rika in Wonder Egg Priority. The game follows Alex's harrowing journey as she struggles to survive alongside her boyfriend Martin in a world where making even the slightest sound can mean instant death. The game's core gameplay mechanic revolves around stealth and survival horror elements, emphasizing the need for silence and careful navigation. Players must guide Alex through various environments, from ruined cityscapes to treacherous wilderness, all while avoiding detection by the alien threat. The game's main feature is its sound-based mechanics. Players must be constantly aware of the noise they're making, as even the slightest sound can attract deadly attention. The game includes a variety of tools to help the player navigate this sound-sensitive world, including a microphone, a breath indicator that shows you when you need to breathe out, highlighting the true horror of life, slight respiratory illnesses.
So you're looking for a castle. Is he all right?
The story of A Quiet Place: The Road Ahead is set in the same universe as the films and will expand on the lore of the franchise, offering fans a new insight into the world while maintaining the core themes of survival, family, and the struggle against overwhelming odds. Visually, the game aims to capture the gritty, tense atmosphere of the films, with the early trailers and gameplay footage detailing an atmospheric environment that ranged from claustrophobic interiors of hospitals and apartment buildings to wide open yet openly dangerous locations. The attention to visual and audio design helps to create a deeply immersive experience that faithfully recreates the feel of the movies. That will hopefully offer the same fear as I had the first time I watched it in the cinema, terrified to even slightly divulge into my £12 popcorn. The developers have emphasised their commitment to creating an immersive experience that goes beyond simple stealth gameplay. The game promises to include puzzle-solving elements, resource management, and some light crafting, all designed to enhance the survival aspect of the game without detracting from the core stealth mechanics. So if you're interested in A Quiet Place: The Road Ahead, it will be releasing on October 17th, 2024, and hopefully this will be a compelling entry in the survival horror genre that will hopefully recreate the sense of silent dread that is found in the movies, while offering a creature that is intelligent and reactive as the alien found in Alien Isolation. Now, let's explore the Lovecraftian city builder, Worshippers of Cthulhu. Worshippers of Cthulhu is an innovative and darkly intriguing game that blends elements of city building, cult management, and Lovecraftian horror. Developed by Crazy Goat Games, this unique title offers players the opportunity to step into the role of a cult leader dedicated to the cosmic entity Cthulhu, one of H.P. Lovecraft's most iconic creations. The game's premise revolves around building and managing a cult-like community, where, as the developers say, the line between sanity and madness blurs. As the leader of said cult, players are tasked with corralling followers, constructing a tantalizing tentacle theme park-like town, and performing various rituals and ceremonies to appease the slumbering Cthulhu. The ultimate goal of the game is not to bring the world to a deadly destructive fate, but rather to embrace what the developers call the inevitable evolution that awaits us all. One of the most striking aspects of Worshippers of Cthulhu is its blend of management simulation with cosmic horror themes. Players will need to allocate resources, assign workers to different tasks, and make crucial decisions that affect the cult's growth and stability. This includes managing the construction of buildings, overseeing the production of resources, and, as every good cult is known to do, decide which followers to be sacrificed for the greater good.
Shut it!
The game's management aspects are deep and multifaceted. Players can assign cultists to a range of tasks, including mundane jobs like road making, as well as more sinister activities related to the cult's dark, secretive practices. Resource management is key, as players must balance the needs of growing their community and the demands of the eldritch patron Cthulhu himself. Worshippers of Cthulhu also incorporate elements of research and progression, using the goth fan favourite nighttime read, the Necronomicon, which will unlock new abilities and rituals, delving more and more into the Lovecraftian madness. Players can expect to see a juxtaposition of normal town elements with more sinister structures, such as giant Cthulhu statues next to the town's robe factory and tentacled monstrosities emerging from the sea right next to the local fishmongers. Did someone say dredge by any chance? One of the most intriguing features of Worshippers of Cthulhu is the ability to switch between a top-down management view, like those seen in the recent Age of Mythology Retold, and a third-person perspective. This allows players to not only oversee see their cult from above, but also embody an avatar within the game world, providing a more immersive experience of the horrific environment they create. The game doesn't shy away from dark and gruesome elements, as players will be required to perform various rituals, including human sacrifices, to maintain Cthulhu's favor. One particular grisly mechanic shown in the trailers shows you carving symbols into followers' backs, highlighting the sinister machinations that the Lord Cthulhu ask of the player to show their loyalty to the otherworldly oddity. Another aspect that makes Worshippers Cthulhu worth checking out is the devs' commitment to the narrative and lore. By incorporating elements from Lovecraft's mythos and allowing players to research Necronomicon, the game promises to offer a rich backstory and universe for players to explore. So, if you are interested in dipping your toes into the cult culture before a full purchase, the game does have an early demo which you can try now for free on Steam. Whether you're a seasoned management sim player looking for a new challenge or a horror enthusiast curious about the Lovecraftian logistics of running a Cthulhu cult, Worshippers of Cthulhu promises to offer a gruesome gaming experience unlike any other when it releases on October 21st, 2024. Next up, we've got a double feature with Retrorealms' Ash vs. Evil Dead and Halloween. Retrorealms' Ash vs. Evil Dead and Retrorealms' Halloween are two interconnected 2D side-scrolling action games set to release on October 18th, 2024. PC, PlayStation 5, Nintendo Switch, and Xbox Series X and S. Developed by Boss Team Games, these titles mark the beginning of an ambitious new franchise that aims to blend the classic horror franchises with retro-style gameplay. The games are part of a large concept called Retrorealms, which plans to release 2 new games annually, each based on different horror franchises. The unique selling point of Retrorealms, or any multiverse film that's come out in the last couple of years, is its interconnected nature, allowing players to mix and match characters across different game worlds. Ash vs. Evil Dead is based on the popular Evil Dead franchise, featuring the iconic character Ash Williams. Players will be able to battle through hordes of deadites using Ash's signature chainsaw and, of course, his boomstick, in a pixelated 16-bit style environment like those seen in other tie-in movie games like Scott Pilgrim. The game promises to capture the humor and gore of the Evil Dead series, translating into a fast-paced side-scrolling action experience. Halloween, on the other hand, will put players in the control of the legendary shape slasher himself, Michael Myers. This game offers a different perspective, allowing players to embody the silent killer as he stalks through Haddonfield, slicing and dicing his way through various obstacles and enemies. The Halloween game aims to recreate the tense atmosphere of the films while adapting it to a side-scrolling format. While each game can be purchased and played separately, owning both titles actually unlocks additional gameplay options. If you purchase both games, players will be able to use Ash Williams in the Halloween games, or you'll be able to bring Mike Myers into the world of Evil Dead. The cross-pollination of characters doesn't just change the player's avatars though, it alters the game world and story to accommodate the different character. For example, if a player chooses to play as Ash in the Halloween game, the intro sequence changes to fit Ash's character instead of Michael Myers. The enemies Ash encounters might be deadites rather than the human victims Michael would typically face, and the level of integration between the games adds a significant replay value and creates a unique gaming experience. The gameplay in both titles focuses on side-scrolling action with a mix of melee and range combat. Players will be traversing 2D recreations from the respective series, fighting enemies, upgrading the characters, and facing boss battles tied to each game's long history. The game also features a dark roam mechanic, where players can enter a hellish version of each level, offering alternative paths and puzzle-solving opportunities, again adding to that replayability value. The Retrorealms concept extends beyond just these 2 initial games, as the developers plan to add more titles to the franchise over time, each based on different horror IPs, meaning in the future we could even see a Retrorealms Scream, Retrorealms Nightmare on Elm Street, or maybe even Retrorealms Paw Patrol. As the collection grows, players will be able to use any characters they've purchased in any Retrorealm game they own, creating an ever-expanding universe of horror-themed side-scrolling action, creating a similar expanded universe that can be found in the multiplayer hit horror game Dead by Daylight. The game also offers DLC characters that include the iconic original Scream Queen herself, Laurie Strode for Halloween, and the spunky Kelly Maxwell that appeared in the Ash vs. Evil Dead series. Now you're probably asking me, do I think these games are going to change the course of horror history? No, but I do think they may be quite fun as a retro romp throwback. Additionally, this new series of games has been backed up by the OG horror creator himself, John Carpenter, who, yes, is also a gamer.
I play video games.
And apparently is intimately involved with the project. And like I said earlier, he made the best horror film of all time. So for me, he's earned enough goodwill for me to at least check this game out on October 18th, 2024. Now that we've mentioned deadites, there is a distinct lack of zombies on this list. And what's the Halloween season about a little taste of the undead horde? This is where Dread Dawn comes in. Dread Dawn is an upcoming survival action horror game developed by independent Chinese studio Kyoto. Set to release on October 1st, 2024 for PC via Steam, the game takes place in a metropolis overrun by the hordes of zombies, offering players a unique blend of isometric action, open world exploration, and survival mechanics. The game is set in a city that has been devastated by a virus outbreak, turning the majority of its population into zombies. After the initial chaos, the city was quarantined, leaving those who failed to evacuate trapped inside. Players take on the role of a student who, along with a group of other survivors, have decided to hold up in the local school and must fight to stay alive until help arrives from the outside world. As mentioned, Dread Dawn gameplay is an isometric view of action, reminiscent of classic zombie horror games like Project Zomboid, or, if you've been on the internet long enough, Boxhead. The game offers an open world for players to explore, featuring various public buildings such as metro stations, hospitals, schools, and prisons, each location holding the potential for valuable resources that can increase the player's chance of survival, making exploration a crucial aspect of the gameplay. The zombie threat is ever present, and like other zombie games, a single zombie may not pose that initial threat, but the gameplay has already shown that hordes of the undead can quickly form, creating mobs that will smash through windows and leap from rooftops like that one scene in The Happening. Players must use a classic combination of melee weapons and firearms to eliminate threats, constantly moving to avoid being overwhelmed by the ravenous horde. And on their travels, they can find other survivors, which can offer opportunities for trade and potential allies in the fight against the undead. A key feature of Dread Dawn is the player's home base at the school, which serves as a base of operations and where your survivors will hold up while you're exploring. As players progress through the game, you can develop and fortify the camp, creating a safe haven amidst the chaos. Unlocking more and more abilities, this will allow you then to construct fortifications, farm, and also build on your resources, allowing your survivors to prosper as you travel out into the zombie-filled world. In conclusion, Dread Dawn offers a compelling entry into the zombie survival genre, offering a compelling mix of action, strategy, and resource management wrapped in accessible cartoon aesthetic. If you're interested in picking up the title, it releases on October 1st, 2024. Now that we've filled our zombie quota, let's get back to a bit more psychological horror, the Silent Hill-inspired Post-Trauma. Post-Trauma is an upcoming psychological horror game set to release on October 29th, 2024 for PC via Steam, PlayStation 5, and the Xbox Series consoles. Developed by Red Soul Games and published by Raw Fury, Post-Trauma aims to blend classic horror game elements with modern graphics and gameplay mechanics, creating a unique and terrifying experience for players. The game puts the players in the role of Roman, a middle-aged train conductor who finds himself trapped in a nightmarish, twisted reality. As Roman, players must explore the surreal and threatening world, uncover its mysteries, and attempt to find a way back to his family while surviving the horrors that lurk in the shadows. Post-Trauma, as you can see from the gameplay, drives massive inspiration from the genre-defining horror game Silent Hill. It combines old-school fixed camera angles with high-fidelity graphics powered by Unreal Engine 5, and the game's environments blend real-life locations with organic, unsettling architecture, creating a world that feels both familiar and alien. Players will be able to explore unique locations, each designed to evoke a sense of unease and dread. Fixed camera angles are used to frame scenes in cinematic ways, adding to the tension and allowing for carefully crafted scenes. Gameplay in Post-Trauma focuses on exploration, puzzle solving, and survival. Players must carefully navigate the eerie environments, gathering items and information to progress through the story. Puzzles and riddles are integral to the gameplay, requiring players to use their wits and clues they've collected to overcome obstacles and uncover the truth behind Roman's predicament. One of the unique aspects of Post-Trauma is its recommendation from the developers that players keep a notepad handy while playing. Yes, just like analog horror has exploded in recent times, so too is analog methods of gaming. Devs have detailed the game will feature complex puzzles and a deep narrative that may require players to actually take notes and piece together information as they progress, adding an extra layer of immersion and engagement. Obviously, with any psychological horror game, the audio design in Post-Trauma is an additional crucial role in creating its haunting atmosphere. The game features a captivating and hypnotic score that enhances the unsettling ambience, along with detailed sound effects that bring the twisted world to life. In conclusion, I think Post-Trauma stands out as a very promising entry into the psychological horror genre. If you're interested in checking it out, it will be out on October 29th, 2024, and I think this is going to be one to keep an eye on, especially as we enter the latter end of the spooky season. Now, the final game we have on our list will actually be coming out on the hallowed day itself. And dare I say, this is the granddaddy or grandmammy of all these horror games we've mentioned so far. That's right, I'm talking about Clock Tower Rewind. Clock Tower Rewind is an upcoming survival game set to release on October 29th, 2024 in the West and October 31st in Japan. PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and S, PlayStation 4, Xbox One, Nintendo Switch, and PC via Steam. Developed by WayForward and published by Limited Run Games, the title is a revival of the classic 1995 Super Famicom game Clock Tower, which is officially being translated and released outside of Japan for the first time ever. The game puts players in the roles of Jennifer Simpson, a teenage orphan who finds herself trapped in the terrifying Barrows family manor. As Jennifer, players must explore the haunting confines of the mansion, searching for ways to survive and escape while being relentlessly pursued by the Scissorman, a murderous psychopath wielding a pair of scissors. Clock Tower Rewind offers two distinct modes of play. One, the original mode. This allows players to experience the game exactly as it was when it was initially released in 1995, preserving the authentic 16-bit graphics, sound, and gameplay of the classic release. The second mode is Rewind mode.
It's rewind time.
This enhanced version includes extra content and quality of life improvements while maintaining the core experience of the original game. If you're interested in picking the game up but not used to 16-bit graphics, the game isn't attempting to completely overhaul the graphics or gameplay, but instead it's going to focus on making the classic title more accessible to a modern audience. So, what is being added to Clock Tower to enhance this nearly 30-year-old game? They've already shown off a brand new animated intro that really captures the eerie feel of the game. Also including the new vocal theme song performed by Mary Elizabeth McGlynn, known for her work on Silent Hill series singing the main theme of Silent Hill 3, and Emmy Evans from the Nier series, notably singing the haunting melody that can be found in the amusement park original soundtrack from Nier Automata. They've also added motion comic cutscenes, new story sequences presented in motion comic style, complete with voice acting to enhance the narrative. Additionally, creator interviews showing the original director providing insight into creation of the horror classic, extensive art gallery that the players can explore concept art and other visual materials related to the game's development, a music player so players can listen to the game's eclectic soundtrack separate from the main game, and multiple language that supports English, Japanese, French, Italian, German, Spanish, Korean, traditional Chinese, and simplified Chinese. So, if you've always wanted to try out this horror game classic, there is never going to be a better time than this Halloween season as you play Clock Tower Rewind. So, that is some of the must-play horror games that are coming out this spooky season. If I had to rank them personally and what I would excited to play the most, I would say Silent Hill 2 Remake, Zoochosis, Post-Trauma, Clock Tower Rewind, Worshippers of Cthulu, A Quiet Place the Road Ahead, Dread Dawn, and Retrorealms, Ash vs Evil Dead, and Halloween. But that is just my opinion. What do you guys think about the upcoming release schedule for this spooktacular horror month? And let me know in the comments down below. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure to drop us a like. I've been the Ugly Bartender. I'll see you next time when we discuss all things gaming.